You know that feeling when you open your inbox and find another Google review from a happy client? Well, we feel the same way when our listeners leave a review on Apple Podcasts for our show.
It's honestly so helpful because reviews give you the words straight from your client's mouth that impacts the way you run your business going forward. And the same is true for us.
Yeah, when we read your reviews, it helps us understand what you love and what you want more of, which makes the show better in return. And really, everyone wins here.
So before you listen to today's episode, could you take 1 minute and leave us a 5-star review and tell us one thing you're loving about the show? We promise we'll be here ready to chat when you're done.
And after leaving that review, make sure you screenshot it and send it to support@modernagentsocialclub.com with your mailing address, because we have a fun little surprise for you as a way to say thank you.
XOXO, the marketing girls.
I don't understand the draw to Conrad. So if you are Team Conrad, you please enlighten us.
Me, I don't have enough space, so I have bins in my basement.
But you have therapy for that, so it's okay.
Yes.
The whole spring break cheating thing, it was very Ross and Rachel.
We're great at segueing sometimes.
How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have one account or two?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are 2 agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market, all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guide as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Chelsea. Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Agent Marketing Girls podcast. Let's talk about your sweatshirt.
I got a new sweatshirt. It says Finch College. Anyone know where that's from? DM us. The summer I turned pretty. I got this on Aerie, and we are in the beginning of the summer I turned pretty. At this point of recording, we've only had 2 episodes, but there's a new one out tonight, or it's probably out right now. We should stop this and come back.
Right? Yeah, I think, is it a new one every week? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, they release 2 week 1, and then they do 1 per week, and it actually goes through September 17th or something. I'm like,
it's gonna be a doozy.
Just give me the show. My mom said, I kind of like it though, because it's something to look forward to watch instead of always another show to binge watch, So
that's funny.
Well, I guess it's good to have it both ways, but
okay, what are your thoughts so far? I just caught up on it last night, so let's chat.
Okay, there are going to be spoilers for the first 2 episodes of season 3. So if you don't want to hear this, please fast forward 3 minutes.
There you go.
I was a team Jeremiah mostly because I just don't like a moody guy, and this is it's so funny. I saw this Instagram post that said, if you're team Jeremiah, you probably also like da-da-da. It was actually, if you're team Conrad, you probably also like, and it was Jess from Gilmore Girls, and I forget who else, but I'm it's the moody vibe guy, right? You kind of like one and then you like the others. It's just your style. And I said, my husband is not a moody guy at all. So I am not a Conrad girl, but after the first 2 episodes of season 2, I don't like Jeremiah either. So
here are my thoughts. First of all, everyone was Team Conrad forever. And honestly, I kept thinking, why does everyone hate Jeremiah so much? Conrad's the one that was pushing her away. And I don't understand it. And I haven't watched season 1 and 2 for a while. But then I liked how they did the big recap before that started. So I was like, oh yeah, I remember that happened. But yeah, my question always was, it's not one of them really pulls me in, but I'm I don't understand the draw to Conrad. So if you are Team Conrad, you please enlighten us, because I'm the same way. I don't like moods. I guess my husband's a little introverted, but he's not he doesn't take things out on me. He feels things, but he's not I don't know.
You're not
I'm with you.
It's not he's not moody.
Yes.
The moody thing is just not me. I'm probably more of the moody one.
I feel that's appropriate. I feel girls are allowed to be a little more emotional,
That's true.
a little more wishy-washy.
Based on time of the month. So I talked to Copy Uncorked. I'm Caitlin Parker, Copy Uncorked, in the DMs about this. And she's a Conrad girl. And she said, I just felt like her and Jeremiah were 2 brother sister, which I kind of feel that about all of them. I'm you know what? You're right. I hope she moves to Paris and meets someone different.
Yes. Yeah, I know. At some point in time, the whole brother aspect still kind of grosses me out. I'm still a little bit like they shouldn't have been brothers. I feel like there's going to be no world in which there's a solution that makes everyone go like, oh, that's better. Like, I don't know how they can possibly like reconcile this. I never read the books. I don't know if this show is going off of the books or if it is now just like taking its own turn, but I don't know. I like it. I like the mood of the show. I like the summary. Like, I mean, especially right now, like it's so fun to watch. But yeah,
I feel like I think I messaged you this. I said if this was girls, the world would be in an uproar. If it was like a guy going back and forth with two sisters, everyone would be like, cancel him. Like, we hate him. Who would like, you can't do that. But like, it's somehow okay. I don't get it.
A little bit of the whole like spring break cheating thing. It was very Ross and Rachel. Which just made me kind of laugh. I was like, okay, like, but you know what? There is nothing new under the sun. Like, everyone tries to come up with something, but like all the storylines have been done.
I don't know if you feel this too, but I feel like I see Friends storylines, not copying, but like stuff like that in so many shows. Like I've watched How I Met Your Mother and New Girl, and like there's always these little strings where I'm like, that was Friends.
I was literally waiting for like Taylor at one point. When Taylor was yelling at Jeremiah, I thought surely she, out of all the characters, is going to be like, you're really reminding me of Ross right now.
Like, I wish they just would have called it out.
Yes, but it was like, I don't know. I like how they wrapped it up more quickly, but I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully
I just love all the conversation it creates. Like, it's fun. It's like Love Island. Now that it's over, it's kind of the same thing. Like, there's so much buzz because it just ended. And it's like, who's staying together? What's happening now? How's the reunited people? Blah, blah, blah. It's just so fun to witness. And like last night, my friend messages me, I'm watching The Summer I Turned Pretty and I'm Team Jeremiah all the way. I feel like it's a no-brainer. And I'm like, tell me what your thoughts are after you're done.
Well, I know. Yeah, I'm curious what everyone else is. So when we start like releasing clips of the show and everything, please enlighten us because very curious.
Yeah, I want to know people's thoughts. I shouldn't say this is like Ross and Rachel. I shouldn't say I'm done with Jeremiah because during the Ross and Rachel thing, I was mad at Rachel because she had Mark over.
Yep.
So I was like, that spun the whole thing out, right? I didn't say she did anything wrong, but kind of. So I'm like, I wasn't totally like on her side with that, which is bizarre. But in this context, I didn't think Belly did anything. So I was like, that was kind of bad, but we'll see.
Yeah. But also harboring a love for your now fiance's brother, just a little bit inappropriate. I think so.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that.
I don't know. I think you'd have to be pretty much over. It'd be one thing if it was just like an ex that was like, you know what, they'll always have a part of me. Like, I get that, but like, it's your brother-in-law now. Oh,
you know what's so funny is the podcast Chicks in the Office, which I never listened to, but I listened to it because they had a Love Island person on. And they were saying, okay, I promise you guys, like, this is the end of it. We're done recapping Love Island every week. So I'm like, is this going to be a new addition to our show?
I think that it should be. You know, I did think after, was it last week's episode, 2 weeks ago? I did think that we need to start having a segment on the show where you just pull out something from your Vegas bin and we just talk about it.
I will gladly bring it into my office.
Let us know if you want that segment, everyone, and we will add that to the show. But
and don't worry, we're going to tie this all into marketing. We always have a segue.
We always have a segue.
Our segue for today is The Summer I Turned Pretty didn't just like one day pop up on Amazon Prime and you had no clue it was coming. We were waiting and waiting and waiting
for
and
seeing
things like Finch College sweatshirts. And don't worry, Aerie has a bunch of like merch if you want to call it that, if you need something. It's so soft, by the way. It's like,
I bet.
I cannot wait to wear this. It's just been like 100 degrees. But it's been like this whole runway to the launch of the show. Like we knew it was coming. We knew the date it was coming. There's reels about it. There's memes about it. It's everywhere. I don't care what show it is. If it's Love Island, if it's this, the good shows are ramped the heck up. And
we've even used it to promote The Summer I Turned Local and to have all of our local content for the summer.
It's just such a catchy way to incorporate it into your incorporate something pop culture into your marketing. But what we're talking about today, we get this question over and over and over every Marketing Therapy Thursday, probably once a week in our Facebook group for our members. What do I post if I don't have a listing? Or what do I post if I don't have any clients? And the answer is
literally everything else.
Like the majority of your content, even if you have 57 listings to just be dramatic, the majority of your content shouldn't be your listings.
No.
If that gives you like a really short answer of what our thoughts are on this topic.
Yes. You know, we go back to the Modern Agent Content Cocktail, which that's episode, what is that? Is it 16?
We should have it like ingrained in our...
It is episode 16, the content formula that changes everything. That is our Modern Agent Content Cocktail, which is every piece of content, for the most part, should have one piece real estate, one part personal, and one part local. So when you think about that formula, only 1/3 of your content is actually real estate content. 2/3 of your content is about personality. It's about the things that you like to do, the places you like to go in your city, all the things. So if you're sitting there going like, well, what do I post if I don't have clients? That's literally everything else. Post that. But also, there's still a lot of real estate things you can post, even if you don't have clients. That isn't just like 3 ways to buy a house.
And we like to say you don't need clients to use our content, for example, but you do need our content to get clients.
Yes.
So you want to think of it as if you don't have any clients, you have a huge opportunity to leverage social media to get the clients. And we're going to walk you through a bunch of ideas today because I don't ever want that question again. No, I'm just kidding. I love getting repetitive questions because what does that mean? It means there is a gap that needs to be filled and taught or inserted into our membership, which do you want to just share right now what we're going to have when the new website launches?
Yeah. So our new website is like, hopefully weeks away by this point, not even weeks away. Hopefully it's even closer than that. We've got a whole new member website experience coming for our members. So the cool thing about it is, we talk about all of our like marketing plans and we give our members a marketing plan every single week where we kind of break them through like, here's exactly what to do each day so that you know how to keep your business rolling. But also we recognize that every person that in the membership is entering at a different spot. Some of them have 25 listings. Others literally just got their real estate license last week. So where do they start? What should that look like? And so we've been working on customized marketing plans. And the very first one we're going to release is all about content to post when you don't have listings or clients.
And it's going to just give you a roadmap of, okay, this is what I can actually post and do in my stories, in my feed, in email to go from I don't have any clients to I now have a pipeline of them.
Right.
So let's just kind of walk through a few examples, or maybe let's kind of talk mindset first, because part of this is really thinking like, okay, if I'm going to be an agent, I have to show everyone what I'm selling. I have to like have these trophies, if you will, on my Instagram. So when someone looks me up, it's like, okay, well, she's doing well. I should hire her.
Real life, everyone.
We just paused. Kayla's kids got picked up to go to a splash pad. So we don't remember what we were last saying. But if you think this is easy to record every week, it isn't always.
The hot mess express. But you know what? You just get stuff done anyway. We made a decision that we were going to record every week.
It's so fun, and we will pick back up.
Yes.
Basically, what I was getting at is you don't need a client to connect with someone, and you don't need a client to inspire someone to want to buy a house. You don't need a client to want to like share about where you live and why someone else might love it and what they're going to love about it. Like, we need to get out of our heads that we need to document a client exactly to be able to show up about real estate. Oh, I was talking about trophies. Like, you don't need to have trophies showing like, here's what I sold, here's what I did. Yes. People don't actually care about that. I have a folder on Instagram full of people talking about homeownership that are not agents. And you know why I have that folder? Because it tells me so much behind the mind of what an actual human being person buying or selling a house is thinking, not an agent. And sometimes we're so close to our own business or industry that it's hard to step outside and think like they're actually thinking about like the pizza they're going to order the first night in their new house when they're sleeping on a mattress. Who hasn't done that, And you don't need to physically document your client. I mean, this isn't a reality show. You're not bringing a camera crew to your new client's house to show the pizza and put it on a reel. Like, you more so are talking about like the experience you provide, what it's like to work with you, who you are. Like, why would someone ever want to reach out to begin with? It's not because your feed is full of cute houses. It's because they like you. So how do we show up in that way? And just to kind of put the stake in the ground, you don't need clients to create content. You need content to get clients. So,
and the other thing to add to that real quick is think about it this way too. When you do have those clients, It's not like you're hopping on your stories every day and saying, well, now this happened. Well, now this happened. Like, that's like breaching client trust too, right? And so we're not sharing like, well, this went pending or we offered this or we did whatever. Like, you don't share those things until later. So even when you have a client, you're still only sharing little bits of it, and you're more sharing how you helped them and how you guided them more than like, well, they said this, but they didn't like that's not appropriate. And so I
Right.
think sometimes we feel like, oh, I need to like, I have a client. What should I share? And it's like, well, just serve your client well first, and then we'll get to the client or the content part, you know?
Exactly. And I think we sometimes think like, "Oh, well, if we don't have like a showing to say we're going to, how are we gonna document houses?" And my first question is like, "Do you have a front door?"
Yep.
I mean, like, you can go open it and take a B-roll clip. No one knows that that's your house. I've actually recorded reels before of, like, what I would do to prep for a showing in my own home because that's easier, right? I'm not, like, interrupting my clients to go and use or, like, the house that I'm holding open or whatever to go and, like, prep for my reel. I'm just doing it in my own house, like, turning on all the lights, turning on every lamp, turning on a Spotify playlist, lighting the candle, and you don't need to scan your whole house for these, which is the beauty of this. You can, like, have a zoomed in shot lighting the candle, zoomed in shot hitting play on a Spotify playlist, zoomed in shot turning a lamp on. So you need these, like, little corner, little teeny bites
Right.
of the house, so you can do that anywhere, right? Oops.
We are on a roll today,
Really
folks.
excited right now. And what I going back to the pizza example, in my folder, I have this post from Xanthi Appleyard, and she shared she was just leaving LA. They lived in LA. She felt like that was like her dream calling of where to live, but her reel says empty apartment, the undeniable romance of an empty apartment, air mattress pizza the night before your next chapter begins. And she and her husband are on an air mattress with their dog, box of pizza, nothing else is in their house. It's all packed up and ready to go. And I just like the epitome of this video is like what your content should look like. Not every post, but like if you're like, I don't have any content, go to a vacant house and get a pizza and take some pictures and some
Yes.
content, like, oh my gosh, you have so many opportunities to create business for yourself through doing things like that. And if you don't have any business, you have what?
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, exactly. I think about that too, like, as I'm thinking, first of all, back to, like, our first night in our house. We closed on the day that my husband had a football game, of course, and so he was actually gone while my parents and I were helping move in, and the kids and I stayed back with my parents that night, but Brett, when he got home late from the football game, he just came straight to this house, and he literally slept on a mattress on the floor. I went to Walmart and grabbed a blanket because I forgot to bring the blankets along, and he was like, it was so cool, like, waking up in the morning, like, on the floor in our master bedroom being like, "Oh my gosh, this is our house." Like, even though he was by
Yes.
himself. But, like, thinking about that and even thinking about, like, what's the one thing that you do when you're moving into a house? Like, what's the first thing that you do? And it's usually getting your bedroom and the kids' bedrooms ready, get their beds made, right? So even if you're like, you just washed your kids' sheets, you're getting ready to do that, take a little video footage of you putting their bed together and saying something like that. Like, nothing like that first night when all you wanna do is get your kids' beds made so they feel safe in bed. Like, that, like, makes people feel
Yes.
something.
The other thing is you can use your own story. Like, as you said that, I'm like, I have my own story of the
Yep.
first night in our house. I remember it was our first house and we were living with my grandma because we got out of our apartment early so we could buy this house. We were staying with my grandma for like the month while we waited to close. And it was a foreclosure. So it was like kind of random on when we closed for whatever reason. I don't remember. But we all of a sudden we're like, hey, we're closing tomorrow. It snowed like 12 inches that night.
Oh my
Where my
gosh.
grandma's like, are you sure you don't want to just stay here tonight, you guys? And we're like, no, we want to go. So like we go. We don't even have a shovel. Like
Yep.
we the driveway is so deep. Blow up our air mattress. There's zero in the house. Our like storage pods were coming the next day. Like, and it was just you would never do it in any other way, right? Like it's
Right.
just such this nostalgic moment. Well, everyone has those moments, and it
Yep.
might look a little different for everyone. It might not be as romanticized for everyone, but like we all have a story. So like use your own story, use your parents' story, use a story from when you were growing up. If you're talking, you're a brand new agent. If you're an agent that just doesn't have a current client, use a past story, right? Like
Right.
that's usually the stories we're using anyways, not like Kayla, like you're saying, like you're not saying every little thing in the moment of what's
No.
happening with your client transaction. That's like confidentiality. But thinking about like what are these like feelings and emotions that are tied to moving, and we always always talk about the lifestyle. It's always the lifestyle of the home, of the process, of closing day, of first day getting your keys. Like, it's always the lifestyle. It's never like the contract, the terms, the whatever it is. Like, like, it's so funny. One of our members was just sharing that at her brokerage, they were doing like a social media challenge, and that she was like, I don't know what to do because I just feel like they're trying. She's like, but what they want us to post, and she's like, and I'm a leader, and for like one of the groups, she's like, what they want us to post is just like not what we should be posting. And she was like, they wanted us to post like the definition of, I forget what it even was.
Fiduciary duty or something like
Yeah.
that. It's like, no
She's
one
like, I can't post
cares.
that. What do I do?
Yes.
So,
It's
and like, if
so
that's
painful.
we want to, like, we can, through content, you inspire people to, maybe they're not ready to buy, but they might see your content and be like, oh my gosh, like, I can just feel that. Like, I can just imagine that feeling. I can picture myself in that moment, and like inspire them to want to take the first step and start the conversation. Or you inspire someone through like sharing where you live. Like, people probably are looking, like, thinking like, oh my gosh, I would love to live in Lake Country and get out of the city, or vice versa, or whatever the spot you're more so focusing on selling is, like, that would be it, right? And again, this content is so much better typically than a tour of your listing, or even sharing like the closing. Like, yeah, that stuff is cool and exciting, but it's really not content that's helping someone look at it and see themselves. Or
Right.
like, oh my gosh, that's going to be me. Or I can't wait for that. Or I remember that, and like sending it to their husband.
Yeah. So really, this very first category we're talking about, we don't have like a strong outline today, folks. But the first category we've talked about is just like home content, right? So I think my best tip would be to, think of those stories, document those stories, get out your notes app right now, start writing them down, like little tidbits of what you remember about moving into your first house or wherever. But then also pair that with photos and with little video clips of you doing things around your house. So if it's as simple as like you dusting or straightening out a rug or a hand towel or making a bed or whatever it is. And I think my best tip with that, we have that, our B-roll freebie. And you can go to modernagentsocialclub.com/B-roll, like BROLL, and get that. But in there's a ton of like ideas for like where to stand, where to shoot, different angles to get, stand near a window, all of those things that you get really good lighting, all the things. And again, I'll just reiterate, all of these things take practice. Like the first time that you shoot this in your room or your kid's room or wherever, it's not going to look like, wow, that looks so cool. But like keep practicing, keep trying a couple different things. You're going to get clips that you like. But so focus on home, focus on stories, and get content that pairs with that.
Another tip I would pair with that too is like, what's your angle? So like, if you take the Friends cast, for example, this is a great way to think about this. If you're like, I don't know, everyone kind of has like their personality in relation to a home. So like, if you took Monica, she's obsessed with cleaning and organizing. So if that's you, if you're like the Monica, you could do this from more of a like having an organized home, having a clean home. Your B-roll could simply be setting your phone on your counter and recording for 10 seconds while you spray and wipe your counters. That's actually really fun to watch for some reason.
It's very satisfying. Yeah.
It is satisfying. So like, that could be it. If you're more of like the Joey, like man cave, loungy, want to sit on a recliner and watch Baywatch, like you could showcase like the cozy part of your home and like, like what to watch tonight, like homeowner edition. Like there's so many like clips of like, what does homeownership really mean? It means sitting on the couch with my husband and binge watching the latest Netflix series. Like that, like that's a post. Now you add your local city in somewhere. We got takeout from this takeout spot, and now you did the content cocktail. And it's just like, so what's your angle? Rachel, fashion, like having a place to store all your clothes and boots and shoes. Or like me, I don't have enough space, so I have bins in my basement.
But you have therapy for that, so it's okay.
Yes. So like things like that, like just what is your angle with it? We talked to, one of our members did a coaching episode with us, Nikki, and she came up with like, she really wanted to do the whole normalize regular houses. Like you don't need a perfectly white updated kitchen to love where you live. You can make your brown cabinets cute, light a candle, romanticize it. You still have a house that creates memories with your family and where the kids are watching Gabby's Dollhouse. Like it doesn't matter what color your cabinets are. You could go that route. I mean, there's so many different angles. And if you kind of take one and like put your stake in the ground with that angle, now your content's like repetitive and it's fun to watch and it's still inspiring and it still has that content cocktail and you don't need a client. And even when you do have a million clients, you can keep this rolling because people are going to like this more anyways.
Yes, and those kind of things build your brand because they showcase your values too. Like, as you're saying all of that, I'm thinking of, like, the snack bins that I have for all the neighbor kids that come over, or we always keep a shelf in our upstairs linen closet with, like, extra toothbrushes and all of that because there have been a couple times we've had football players call us in the middle of the night saying they need a place to stay. They haven't actually ended up staying here, they've always found somewhere else to go, but I'm like, "I am always ready. You are always welcome here." You know what I mean? And, like, showcasing things like that, just showing, like, little moments of your life, that's a great way to, like, showcase your values, what matters to you. Everyone's message is gonna be different, but that's what's gonna draw people to you for different reasons. You want people talking about your content. You want people sharing your content. No one is going to share your content and say, like, "Oh, you should follow Chelsea. She always just shares something. I don't know. She just posts every day." You want them to say, Chelsea's always the one that shares something like this, or, like, you'll love her kitchen, or you'll love the way that she talks about, like, how she prepares snacks for Henry, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, give them the reasons, give them the words to say so that you are telling them how to talk about you, how to think about you.
I love that. You know, as I was going through my folder of like saved content of people to kind of bring in like the mindset of like, what are people thinking? What else was really interesting is there were so many different angles. Like, one girl bought her first house and her whole thing was like, welcome to my starting over condo. And I think she like had broken up with her boyfriend or whatever. And she's like, and then she did a post saying it's been like a year in my starting over condo. And like, people are just so proud. They have so much pride in home ownership and buying a home and having a space to call their own. Another one I just saw when you were letting your kids out.
Like my
Sending
dog.
your kids off. Assembling the first piece of furniture that arrived in my Carrie Bradshaw apartment.
Yes.
Like, it's just so cool, like, it gives me chills. Like, again, people love real estate. Why are we talking about it in a way that makes people, like, run the other way? Like, "Oh, no,
Right.
not for me." Not
Why are we
run, but you
talking
know.
about fiduciary duties? Yes.
Right.
No, it doesn't match. And, all of the content that we've shared so far, that's social media content. That's not content you put on your website. That's not what you say in a listing presentation, but that's content that you share on social media to get people talking, to start conversation, make people feel something and make them remember you.
And you have to know, like, the time and the place for what goes where. And we like, what you just said, this is not your website. This is social content. It's shareable content, relatable content. And, like, when you think about, like, well, what about, like, when you think about, well, I should document everything that happens to my listing. Like, if the price drops, if this happens, if that happens, that shouldn't ever even go in your feed, in my opinion.
No.
So we don't even need to worry about that stuff. And we have strategies for that, but that's not for this episode.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? I have on my list, you don't need a client to show people what it's like to work with you.
No, you don't.
Instead, just document what you would do when you have a client. What if
So what does
someone
that actually look like, Chelsea? Let's
Yeah.
break that down, 'cause I think
So
that's such good advice.
yeah, okay, so if you don't have a client today, but you, like, wanna show people, here's what it would be like. What would it literally be like? Take out a piece of paper, open your notes app, and write down, if a client reached out to you right now, what would be the first step? Would you send them a buyer questionnaire or a seller questionnaire? Is there a fun question on that questionnaire that you wanna share, like, put some light on? Like, I love the one of, like, "Send me your dream home Pinterest board." Like,
Yeah.
I wanna know what's on my buyer's dream home Pinterest board. I mean, you're probably not getting the mansion on the lake with the ocean view and the infinity pool and the mountains.
Right?
You're probably not getting all of it, right? But, like, it just gives you, like, a like, what are they saving, you know? Like, what's the vibe? What's the style? How can I, like, use this to help them find their dream home or their forever home? Like that, like, share that you asked that question. Do you always meet at the same coffee shop? Go to that coffee shop and take a quick B-roll shot. You don't even need to edit them together. Just one B-roll shot is good of you scanning the coffee shop, sitting down and setting down your coffee cup and saying, like, what it's like when you reach out about buying a home, and then you share in the caption, what is it like? Like, you know your process. So, or strengthen your process if you don't like it, you know? What would you like to happen when someone reaches out? How would you like to be more organized? If you're like the Monica, you probably have a system of things that you do, and you can highlight the fact that you're very organized. Don't say, like, I'm the organized agent, but just say, like, when you reach out, you get my three dot dot dot. You get
Right.
this and that. And here's what happens next. So you never are wondering what's next. Like, tell people exactly what happens. Like, you don't need a client to tell them that. You just need to
No.
tell them.
Oh my gosh. And if you're like a staging agent, I feel like we have a few members who are like really good at staging, or they have like staging businesses. Oh my gosh, you can showcase that stuff all day. You can literally like even walk into your own house and be like, here's 2 things I would do if I was getting ready to show my house this afternoon, and like rearrange a chair or move something out or whatever, but just show people the difference of those things. Or, oh my gosh, you could go to Target and just walk around and just capture content of like, this would make a really good, thing on a mantle, or this would look really good over here. Or I always look for pieces like this because like a basket, for instance. I always look for a basket because you can throw all your kids' toys in there and it looks more like, put together or whatever. But like, you don't need a listing. You don't need someone calling you saying, can you come over? Because guess what? When that person does call you and say, hey, can you come over and help? You're not getting out your camera and showing yourself like at a listing appointment. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking with them, you're engaging with them, you're helping them. But how can you document the process beforehand so that people can see like, well, that's the experience I want. That's the agent I want to work with.
You know what I love? And this would be a little more work, but like if you have a kitchen table, or a counter or a porch, sit down at your table and put your phone to face you and act like you are the agent, and then go to the other side and record from the other side and act like you are your client.
Yeah.
And like hand them a coffee, like one of, like the flip. I don't think it would really be that hard to do, but we should do one just to like show people. But like have it show like, okay, first we're going to do this, or now we're going to do that, or then we're, like just, and even if the video is just more like you're not talking, it's just like kind of showing each side, and you have like the buyer folder on the table, or you have the home search pulled up on MLS,
right,
or whatever it is, their wish list, your buyer questionnaire, like something like that you can show visually, and then just in the caption talk about what it's like to work with you. And all you could put on the B-roll is like, point of view, you have coffee with me and start the conversation about buying a house. And that's it. That's it.
Yes.
But they see you. They
Yep.
see the vibe. They see the situation. It could be at your coffee shop that you record this video. Like, we don't need to wait for anything to create content like this.
Right. Another thing that you could do that I would totally do, because this is me, is I would call a friend and schedule a lunch date with a friend every week. Even if it's for like 6 weeks. Like, I'm going to meet up. First of all, how fun is that, right? Also, you get into local restaurants. Also, your friend doesn't care if you're like, hey, can I snap a picture of this so I can use this in content? And then you can say like what it looks like to have a consultation with me. They don't care. They don't feel like they're being used or whatever. And then you can also be seen in those places. You are reminding your friends that, hey, I'm an agent and I'm trying to build my business right now. I mean, then, you talk about the power of like, what did we say last week? 5 people knowing that you're a realtor and like loving you. Meet with 6 friends over 6 weeks, and all of a sudden they're all going to work, they're going to church, they're going out with their families or whatever, and there's someone is going to say something about real estate. And not only did you take the time to hang out with a friend and have fun, not only did you support local, not only did you get content, but now you also are reminding all these people, hey, I'm an agent and I can help you. Like, what a great use of your time.
Do you ever get to the end of a podcast episode and feel like, ugh, now I have to wait until next Tuesday for more?
Are you asking me or our listeners?
I mean, I was asking our listeners, but now I'm curious. Do you feel that way too?
Honestly, I might. I mean, if it weren't for Modern Agent Social Club, because members get to be in the middle of marketing conversations like this every single day.
That's true. For our members, it's basically Marketing Girl Summer.
Exactly. Like, sun's out, strategy's out.
So if you love the podcast, maybe you've already started trying a few things and you're seeing results, but just imagine how much more momentum you could build inside the club.
Because the podcast is where we talk strategy, but inside Modern Agent Social Club, like, of course, you're going to get great content, as I do say so myself. But more than that, you're going to get a results-driven marketing plan.
Carousels and reel prompts and emails, it's all great. But how do they all work together to make you the real estate go-to girl? That's why we provide you with an entire marketing system so you don't have to figure out how all these pieces connect.
So if you're tired of waiting a whole week between episodes and you're tired of DIYing your real estate marketing, make this your most fun and productive summer yet.
And join us today at modernagentsocialclub.com for your first official Marketing Girl Summer. Now back to the show. And I would turn every lunch into a piece of content, even if it's just your stories. Like, my weekly lunch spot was here, and here's what I got, and here's why I loved it, and here's why you should go. Or, it's bringing that into real life, because that's what people really want to see. The behind the scenes.
Also, bring your laptop, and before your friend gets there, record yourself going through the MLS or something like that. That's what I think is important to bring up too. We talk about like home stuff and experience stuff and all of that. But one thing that you need to be doing is every day, even if you don't have clients, you should be doing something real estate related. It could be as simple as pulling up the MLS and looking at any new listings that have popped up. It can be creating a couple different like home searches. And you can say, hey, if you're looking for a house at this price range in this area, I've got a home search ready for you. You know what I mean? It could be driving through a local neighborhood and just like highlighting like 3 houses that you love, or just like saying like, if you're curious what houses in this neighborhood go for, shoot me a message. Like there's so many things you can be doing and that you should be doing every single day, even if you got kids in the car, even if you're running to soccer practice, even if you are going to book club, whatever you're doing, there's plenty of time in your day for real estate content. Even if you're working another job, you have time for real estate content.
I even put on here, you don't need a client to share what's on the market. Open your laptop to MLS, go tour a neighborhood. And if you're like feeling uncomfortable, like videoing a house in a neighborhood, I know it can be kind of weird. You could just video like pulling in the entrance of it and then put learn my 3 favorite things about this neighborhood in the caption.
Yes.
And then just put in the caption, like they have a community pool, they have very wooded lots, they have like whatever it is, put in the caption. And that doesn't require any business of your own, but it's still like when I was new, every Tuesday I went and toured a neighborhood because I wanted to learn, what do they all look like? What's different about each one? What amenities do they have? Like what are they close to? Like I need to put myself in the context. So when I'm sitting with a client at a different house and they're like, oh, we don't really love this one. And I bet that neighborhood is one you would really love. Like let's focus over there or see what's in there because they have the things that you're saying you want. Now you're like this expert who they're so wowed by, right? Like you're not just sharing, like doing the bare minimum is showing the house. Being above and beyond is knowing, hey, there's this house 5 minutes from here I think you would love. I know it didn't come in your home search because it has like less than an acre lot, but it's wooded. It has this, and that. And now they're like, oh my God, like you just did more than open the door.
Yeah. You know what I would do? Thinking about when my kids go back to school and how I like to go on morning walks with my dog, I would be like, I'm showing up every day until I've gone on a walk in every neighborhood in Columbia City. And I would take my dog and I would say, this neighborhood I'm walking through here, and I would literally just record myself walking through it. And I would say like, okay, this is the vibe. Like this is the podcast that I'm listening to. This is the playlist that I'm listening to. Here's some things I noticed. Like here's how many dogs I noticed in the neighborhood, or here's how many people were walking with strollers or whatever. Like just like give people that feel. And that's, first of all, that's really good for you. We talk about modern agent standards. Start your day with a walk. Like get your walk in, get some content. If you're pushing a stroller, if you've got your dog with you or your gym shoes or whatever you like, part of your brand, a pop of color, take that and then also highlight the neighborhood that you went for a walk in. You can use that for a reel. You can use that for a carousel of all your favorite neighborhoods to go for walks in. I mean, Chelsea, the sky is the limit.
It really is.
It's just that simple.
I love the idea of mixing. So there, if you noticed, Kayla just did the content cocktail because she was like, I'm going to walk with my dog. Nothing crazy. I'm going to share the podcast I'm listening to. Those are 2 little, very subtle pops of personality that make your content different.
Yes.
And it's not anything that's going to distract from real estate. If anything, it just gives someone another reason to want to consume the piece of content you just shared, that if they don't care about the neighborhood, they're like, well, what podcast are you listening to?
100%. And that's what makes it so powerful, right? Because now instead of just saying like, look at this house, or I'm doing an open house, or check out this new listing, which even creative listing videos, there's not a whole lot of reason to reach out. There's not a lot of reason to interact with it unless it's a super cool house or your best friend has been looking for that exact same house, or you are. There's really not a lot of reason to interact with it. So the content, like what we're talking about, that's the stuff that's engaging. That's the stuff that's memorable. And that's the stuff that gives you listings and like leads you to closings because they've remembered you.
Well, I get really frustrated sometimes, and I was texting you, Kayla, and I said, going on the internet to figure out like what houses are, or going on Instagram to figure out what houses are for sale, or like going there to look for like what my next house might be, is like going to the eye doctor to try to find a screwdriver.
Right.
Well, that actually, they do have little screwdrivers for glasses, but you know what I mean? Like,
but that's not what you think of. Yeah.
That's not what you think of. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And imagine like with the noise of Instagram, no one's going to be in a like organized, like here's everything you need to know location for finding a house. They need your custom home search for that. They need your MLS access for that. They need you to guide them and know what's going on and what's for sale and what's available that matches what they need. They don't need Instagram. And yes, we can creatively market our listings on Instagram. We have a whole episode about that. It's called Basic Listing Post. We don't know her. I don't
We
know what
don't know
number
her.
that is, but we don't know her. And we teach it in our membership, but we don't need to post like new listing, just sold, price reduction. Like that's not what people, again, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't match the platform. It doesn't
Right.
match.
I mean, that's the equivalent of like, we always talk about Jessica Garvin. That'd be like her sharing nothing but oils. Well, I don't follow her for the oils. I follow her for her style, her house, her kids, all those things, right? You think about like Taylor Swift. You're not following her just so that in case she releases an album, that's what you want to follow. You're following her because you want to see behind the scenes of her and Travis. You want to see what she's sent to Selena Gomez. You know what I mean? Like that's the dirt that we want. And so like people feel the same way about you. And yes, we're not big time influencers and we aren't Taylor Swift, but we still have brands that people are curious about and people are getting on their phones to connect with you. Like that's what they want. And when all they see is here's another house, here's another house, here's another house, you don't give them the opportunity to do that.
You're hiding behind the real estate. You know, it doesn't even matter that you're not a big influencer, you're not Taylor Swift. It's not about Taylor Swift or being an influencer. It's
No.
about human psychology. And having a little understanding of that tells you why Instagram works and why people are on there and why a piece of content's going to either help you or not, you know. I was just in Vegas, so this is fresh in my head, but I like in playing like a slot machine. It's like a total gamble if you get the like I just think it's fun to get a little bonus and then it's all like even if you win $30, it's like exciting. But it's like we don't want to play that game with our content. Like, oh, let's just like see what happens. Like if you have a little more intention and like knowledge about why this should be not what maybe the real estate industry thinks it should be, you're going to have such better results. Yeah. And you can't do that with the slot machine, but you can do it with your Instagram and your marketing.
Yeah. Can we like list off maybe like 10 more things that people could do every day that's like real estate related that they could document? Like I'm thinking like even like prepping buyer folders, like document that, right? Cleaning off your signs, putting a sign in your trunk. Even if you don't have a listing to go to, take a picture or a video of you putting signs in your trunk and use that as like a background of a story, right? Your lock boxes, like any kind of like material or email or what the emails that you're sending your database. Hopefully you're doing this by now. Document those things, right? What else would you add?
I would add you don't need a client to share what's going on with the market. So like you should be constantly educating yourself about your local market. What new listings hit the market? How fast are things selling? What is the average price range? I mean, you can share that type of content in a very like easy to understand, valuable way without needing like you should know that without having clients or like home equity reports. You could put one together for yourself and then share like what that is, why it's helpful. Do you want one? This is how you pull people through those cracks. You could highlight a favorite listing of the week. Like, is there a listing in your city that you think is so cute? I just drove by it. We went to my niece and nephew's t-ball game last night, and it's like the little school park that it's at is in this really cute old neighborhood in our town. And there was like adorable white bungalow, super charming looking house. And I'm like, oh, I want to take a picture of that house. It's so cute. I mean, like that type of stuff. It doesn't need to be necessarily like, you can talk about houses, but make it fun, make it entertaining. Don't make it transactional or like, you know, make it inspiring. Like, oh, maybe we should paint our house. Like that would trigger me. Like maybe we should paint our house white. Like it was so cute like that, right? Like, or should we? And then put it out there. Like, here's questions people ask me that aren't even moving. Like, be the resource for people. Like, where do I get pizza? Where do I get a gift card? Or what color white should we paint our living room? Like, that type of stuff. Like, you can share in your stories.
Yes. Go to your local hardware and literally just pull free paint samples and show them. Like, have your kid go with you to the hardware, take a little video of you, and then take your stuff to the car and be like, this is the white that I would do here. Or if you have a lot of natural light, I would do that. If you know anything about anything, share that kind of content. And that's free and it's local and it's powerful. Like, again, that makes people think of you. Think about this. If you're posting about paint colors and you're sharing just a little bit, if it makes sense for your brand, right? But if you're doing that, you're going to start getting messages saying like, hey, could you come over and like look at this room, or can you whatever? Now, maybe these people aren't thinking about buying or selling anytime soon. But when you start coming over and you start becoming like a household name, they are going to think of you. I don't care what you say. Like, they are going to think of you and they're going to call you when they're ready to move.
Someone messaged me yesterday and they were asking like, well, how do I transfer a title from this house to my name, blah, blah, blah. And Mark's like, you're still the go-to girl.
Yes.
I was like, seriously, like, why are you asking me? I haven't had my license for years. But anyways, it's just funny. Like, you have to be a resource in other ways beyond your actual transactions for people to feel like they can reach out. Because otherwise someone thinks I can't reach out unless I'm your client, right? That's like almost what you're putting out there. If you only have your listings or your transaction type stuff, they think, well, I can't ask for a question about paint, or like, should I update the kitchen? Should we forget it?
That's like a huge question people have.
It is a huge question.
Is it worth the money doing this right now or not?
Sharing that stuff or like share, if you back to the Target example, if you have like, you could go to Target and have like a list of things like white fluffy towels, a cute little faux plant, maybe a little diffuser for the bathroom or a specific candle. Turn it into like a shopping list that you can share.
Take a picture, put it all in your cart, take a picture of it. You don't even have to buy it. Now, if you do that, please put it all back nicely so that the workers don't have to do a lot of work. But that's such a great way to spend your time. And that's something real estate that's staying top of mind, and you kind of brushed on this earlier, but even like really going so hard on the home equity analysis and the custom home searches. If you drop those things, if you talk about those things, maybe focus on just one or the other, but focus on those things in your stories especially. And then at any piece of content, whether it's modern agent content or not, but any piece of content that you share, at the very end of it, say something like, do you want to know what your home is worth? Like, I can give this to you for free. Or like, you can call it something. Like, you can say like, my 3-day equity process or whatever. And you tell them within 3 days, you're going to have your full report and you're going to know all these things. Like, brand it to yourself, make it make sense for yourself, and then talk about it all the time. And what's so cool about that is like, let's talk about like home equity analysis. If you maybe aren't getting anyone to ask for it, text a couple of friends, text your parents, text someone, or just say, hey, like, I'm going to run this for you. And then tell like your stories, like share back on that and be like, I was just able to like let someone know that they actually have like 50 grand more in their house than what they thought that they did. Like, they were shocked. And if you want to know what yours is worth, whatever, that gives you really good practice. You start learning how to do this and how to do it well. And it shows people like, well, I can give them that FOMO, right? Like, you want them thinking like, well, I want to know, like, what about me? Like, I want to see my personalized report.
And with anything like a home equity report or something you're going to talk about on repeat, to get someone to say like, yes, I want that, or tell me more, or I need to hear about this, like, have a one-liner almost that you can repeat every single week in your stories. Like, I mean, like, your stories, they're gone in 24 hours. It's not this permanent salesy post in your feed. And if you're showing up with other content throughout the day, like walking your dog and sharing the podcast you're listening to, and where you got takeout for lunch, and where, the show you're watching on Netflix, whatever it is. And within that day, at least once a week, you mix in something like, by the way, and like segue it. Like, we're great at segueing sometimes. Segue it. Like, if you're sharing maybe like your Target haul or whatever, be like, do you want to know everything I share with my sellers? I'm going to share it with you right now. Put your email here or whatever. And then share your shopping list for Target. Like, that has to do with staging your house.
That's a great
right?
freebie.
Yeah.
Heck, you can become an affiliate and you can make money that way. There's an episode.
Put together a faux closing basket with stuff from Target.
Amazon, Target, whatever.
Give it, and like talk about your closing day process. Or like, another thing is, if you don't have a client that's looking at houses, meaning you don't have like showings to go to, what about a broker's open? What about going to an open house? What about vacant listings? Like, you can still get inside of homes and be able to showcase these little things that allow you to have this call to action that's like, do you want to see a list of homes available in your area? Drop your email, or yes or no, and then you reach out to get more information. Do you want to take my buyer questionnaire? Because it can help you figure out if, when you're ready to start the conversation about buying or selling. Yeah, like, the more approachable you are, the more likely someone's going to be like, yes, I do want to know that. Yes, I do want to see that. I do want to take that. Because you're not going to be afraid that you're going to like try to show fit their house with your
Right.
PowerPoint,
Right.
they're going to be like, "Oh, I do want to see it. That's so cool. Like, I love the content you share." Like, we need to have more specific calls to action, specific invitations. We cannot just post on social media and expect a client to be like, "Hey, like I saw your cute post. Can you be my agent?" Could that happen? Sure. But we can be more strategic. We can be more intentional, and you're going to get clients way faster. So you need a lead magnet. You need to talk about the lead magnet. Even say you don't have a client, you could have a lead magnet about, how to prep your home for sale or how to prep your house for a showing. Talk about it every week. Have them have a question sticker box where they can drop their email or the link to get it in your Flowdesk landing page. Have it there every single week for someone to click on and get in your funnel. Because once they're in your funnel, you can now connect one-on-one with them. You can say like, okay, here's the next step if you're ready, or blah, 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 whatever. And that's going to get you clients, right?
Yeah. Chelsea, this is really weird, but it's almost like there's no excuse.
No. Oh my
It's
gosh.
almost like there's no excuses for not posting real estate content. Like, I don't care if you have a client or not. Like, you can still do something. If you live in a house, even if you live in an apartment, you can talk about like saving for home ownership, or here's my goal, or here's what I'm looking forward to the most when I buy my first house. Like, you can share all of these things. There's literally no excuse not to be sharing real estate content in some capacity every day. Do you want to know? I have another list here. So, and some of these we already touched on, but like, document the coffee that you pick up on your way to the office. If nothing else, just go to your office every day, even if you're there for 10 minutes. Like, document that, do something there, like, make yourself visible. Let people see you walking into your real estate office all the time, right? Behind the scenes of your email newsletter each week. This is like a no-brainer. I'm done trying to convince agents that they need an email list. They absolutely need an email list. The book that you're reading. And again, that feels like, well, that's not real estate, but document those things, share those things. That gets conversations going. And then guess what? When you post about the neighborhood that you're walking in with the houses that you love, they're going to see that content too, right? Your favorite neighborhoods in town, your take on the market this summer, your go-to pool snack, your go-to sunscreen, even like the first thing I do when all my kids get on the bus, with school starting, like, where do you go? Like, do you go to like the local gym? Do you go for a walk? Do you go like get yourself something to drink? Whatever it is. Another thing that you could share the incentives that your favorite lenders are offering right now. There's always programs, right? They're always doing something. And if you are talking about like, hey, I just got off the phone with my lender, he just updated me that there's this new like first time home buyer program, like call me for more information. Like, your lender will be happy to get on the phone with you and talk to you about those things because you're going to give them their name, right? But then also people are like, well, I had no idea. Like, I could really use a $10,000 sign on bonus. You know what I mean? Like, all of these like little things that, I mean, I've been able to help my clients with those things all the time. Like, there's always something going on. Let people know what those are. So like, the ideas are endless. And what's funny about this whole call is like, this is how Chelsea and I's brains work. We are big fans of the brainstorm calls, but like, if I really hope that this is getting your wheels spinning and you getting to think like, oh, like, this is all I need to do. And all you really need to do is take like one or two of these ideas and run with them.
And just try one and try it for 90 days. Like, give it, like, repeat it, not every single day, but like every week for 90 days. Implement what we're saying. Another thing I thought, this is so easy. This isn't even you creating content, but finding, like, sharing content from other accounts that have to do with like home related things. I have one in my phone right now, and it's like, I was creating a pretty home all wrong until I first, and then it like says the rest of it and it's not happening. I'm trying to read it. Decluttered, simplified, and curated a style I loved, then ditched the rest. Like, okay, you share that. Then maybe you get on your face on camera and share how you're decluttering your house right now. Then you share a slide that says like, are you outgrowing your house and it doesn't even matter how much clutter you get rid of, you're just out of space. I'll find you a home, drop your email. Like, oh my gosh, that wasn't even content you had to create. You can spin anything into real estate, into a call to action. And I don't want and none of what we're saying of doing that feels like, call me if you're looking to buy or sell, or call, because no one thinks that way. No one's brain thinks like, oh, I'm looking to buy or sell, I should call.
Right. No one's saying that to themselves.
They're saying, I am so out of space. We are so outgrowing this house. I can't take it anymore. We've got to start looking. We've got to get a plan together to get this on the market. That's what they're thinking. They're
Right.
thinking like, oh my gosh, I feel like this is going to be so overwhelming. Or I cannot wait to have a kitchen big enough to host our whole family. And those are the things they're thinking. They're not
Yeah.
thinking. So we need to word our content the way they're thinking and have these little micro calls to actions that are giving them an opportunity to take that first step. Even if that means they don't buy a house with you for 3 years, like, now, would they have been on your list if you didn't have that happen
Yep.
today? Like 3 years from now, you're building your self business for the next however many years, not just right this second. That's
And
why this
during
is so
that time, they
powerful.
and during that time, they can still be telling other people, hey, I've been working with her. She's been really helpful. Like, I remember I had one client who he told me over and over again, thank you for not pressuring me. Thank you for not being annoyed. I mean, he wanted to look in several different areas because he wasn't sure where he wanted to live. But he was like, the last agent I worked with was so annoyed every time I sent her a new address. And it's like, just like documenting those things, sharing those things, like it makes people feel. And then, yeah, he was able to tell more friends about me. Like, it is just like, I don't want to say it's not that hard because it's not like there's no such thing as slow seasons. But I'm telling you right now, if you think it's the market, it's your marketing. That's just the bottom line. And I'm not saying that things are flying off the shelves or you're doing it wrong if you're not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're not in conversation with people and if you're not having real estate content to share, it's not because the market is dead. It's because of your marketing.
You can always find something to market, even if the market is insert the term. I mean, we're affected by the market too, so we get it. But yeah, I think with this whole conversation, to sum this all up, I don't have anything to sum it up. Do you?
You don't have a pretty bow?
To sum it up is there's no excuse, and you can always find something to share. And if you don't have clients, get yourself out there. Even and like, okay, going back to this real estate content cocktail, it's just like this is truly the formula that will change how you show up. Because if you think of something as simple as I'm going to share my morning cup of coffee sitting on my desk next to my laptop, all you do is you add text on there saying, looking at homes in city name on MLS this morning with my coffee. You should be doing that if you don't have any clients. You should be keeping up to date on what is going on, just like we do with marketing and social media. And every single day we are doing stuff. So that's what you need to do.
Yes, because it boils down to the fact that the listing content, the client content, that's basically your portfolio. And Instagram is not your portfolio. There's a place for it. There's a place where it belongs. There's ways to do it. You drip it in, you tie it in, you make it a social experience for people. But it's not the place to showcase. Like, here's a list of people that I've worked with. Like, that's not your resume. It's completely different. So yeah, I think that if you get in your head that, first of all, there are no excuses because modern agents don't make excuses. And if you get in your head that anything can be content, if you just get like a little bit creative, use that modern agent content cocktail, go back, re-listen to this episode, write all of those things down. You could literally have years worth of content after this episode and still not have any client to show for it. And like, you'll get clients because of it. You know what I mean? So I think this is really good and it's definitely worth a re-listen. I want to go back and listen to it, frankly.
Yes. I think like for a homework assignment, because we used to do this and we haven't given them an assignment. It's been summer.
Yeah.
We've been going easy on you, you know?
Yes.
Now it's time
nice.
to get things back in gear and get serious for fall. Your homework assignment is pick one thing you heard us talk about today that aligns with your personality. So kind of picking like, are you the Monica? Are you the Phoebe, Rachel, Joey, whatever? What is your angle? And what's one thing you could repeat every single week, then invite a call to action along with it to take that next step, start the real estate conversation. What is your one thing and commit to it for 90 days, once a week?
Yeah, don't do it twice and say it didn't work because it takes a little bit of time. But I think that's a great assignment. Chelsea, this is such a great conversation. I love this. I love all of our summer content, but I'm excited for what's coming up in the fall. We have lots of great episodes coming up in the fall. We got lots of fun things going on behind the scenes with Modern Agent. So we're going to keep diving into those things too.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you guys for being here. We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye. I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the marketing girls.